So if you look closely to the deployed app, you notice that the tab here, we have the title of the page, but also we have this nice little icon. In fact, most websites have some sort of a favicon or fave icon, whichever way you want to call it, which is just a little image that is attached to the title or on the tab, as you see there. Okay, let's see how can we add that favicon or favicon. I don't even know what is the right way to pronounce it. Doesn't matter. All right, let's go back to our code. The great thing that you can see here is that if you open there, now in our project, you will notice that there are a lot of things. Let me close some of these folders down. All right, we have this build, we have this iOS, of course at the top we have Android, we've had this asset image, this is what we've added ourselves. We have the Mac OS because now Flutter 2.0 allows you to build apps, web apps, but as well as desktop apps. So this, because I'm running on Mac, it automatically adds the Mac OS. If you're on Windows, you won't see Mac OS, you will see Windows. If you're on Linux, you will see Linux and so forth. So, and then we have test, and then we have this web. Web is where all the code pertaining to web development, right, to create the web app, which is what we're doing here. This is where almost all of the metadata is supposed to be pertaining to web. And you can see here we have this index.html, which we've seen before, right, which contains all that information that we know now, which are the scripts, Firebase, JDKs, and all that stuff. Now, if you go up a little bit, you're going to see that there's other meta tags and icons at the top here. For instance, the icons, href, right? The reference to the icons is icons folder, which indeed means web icons, open, and we have a few icons. If you double click, those icons are going to be showing. The icon that we see whenever we run our app is this icon, which is a Flutter icon. So we need to change that. And to do that, I'll show you in a second, but the same version of that icon, we see the 512 size is also there. And then we have this favicon, which is outside. It's really small. Let's make it a little bit bigger so you can see. It's going to be pixelated because it is too small in resolution. As you know, I do have already the information of the icons or the images that we're going to replace them here. And I made sure to have the same names, that way when we replace, we don't have to go back to index.com and change those names, okay? Or if we have to, we can, but it's easier that way. So let me start with favicon. I copied it, and I click on web here, Control V. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna right click and do the same thing I did before, refill in Finder. So it's much easier to do that as opposed to trying to copy and paste and do all that great stuff. So I'm gonna copy my favicon and paste it all in. I'm going to replace. So now we have this nice favicon there. Again, it's very small. You can't even see it's all pixelated. That's okay. The web will know what to do with it. And then for the icons, I'm going to just copy the two icons, which are going to be the same as the favicon, but larger sizes. Click here. I'm going to replace. All right. So it looks like I don't have the 192. That's okay. I'm just going to delete this altogether. Which means now, if you come down here, you can see we have 76 and 512. The plan that I had didn't quite work out. That doesn't matter. That just means we have to make sure that we pass here the 76, because this is the one that it's going to go and find. Okay. Remember, again, it goes without saying, these icons, names, and dashes have to be exactly the same what we're passing there. For our favicon, it's going to be the same because we didn't change the naming. So if you double click now, we should see our new favicon, right? So let's go ahead and get out of this. And HTML, we're going to just go ahead and save. And as always, I'm going to just stop altogether. And let's go ahead and rerun this whole thing. Hopefully I don't need to get out of the code editor for this to work, but I think this would work. And all right, you can see right away, then we have our favicon there showing. Very good. So now our app is complete. Let's go ahead and let's do Gina right now. Gina@me.com. Tester. Obviously I could have created more users, but let's just do what we already have. Okay, Gina doesn't have anything. Well, Gina is not reading. Let's help her. Let's start with development, or let's start with, yes, she wants to read Android development. All right, let's see, enter. There we go. Any book doesn't matter. That one as well. And I have that book. Most of these books I do have, by the way. That's how nerdy I am about this one. Sure, why not? Nerdy people. Okay, so click on this Android one. Gina's gonna get started. She thinks this is about 4, even though she hasn't done anything. And there we go. All right, so it is still working. It's reading. Life is good. And if she wants to change things, she will be able to if she wishes to do so. Okay, life is good. Of course, the Favicon is still there. And then we have that icon. So very well. The app is ready, ladies and gentlemen. Next, we're going to deploy this app into the Firebase hosting, which will allow us to see the app running just like this. So it's going to have an URL outside of our local host, of course, outside of our machine. And it's going to be something like this, where users, anybody in this whole wide world can go and check it out. That is what we're going to be doing next.